Good afternoon, Ken McAllister, the Jazz Vinyl Lover, back again to talk about vinyl, about pressing quality. Someone asked me to do a video on just the pressing quality and how important pressing quality is, which is kind of a vague term, pressing quality, but I'll try to address it in the different ways that I know how. This is one of my this is the second of one of my most prized records. This is the New York reissue of a Herbie Nichols Trio record. I have the original on Lexington as well, and there's something about original Blue Note pressings, or even 47 West 63rd or New York pressings. They're almost impervious to anything as far as just the music signal goes. My Lexington pressing has a lot of noise on it, but the quality of that pressing, the music just shoots right through it and is so strong and powerful. I don't know if it's Plasti-Lite, if it's the kind of vinyl they were using. I think that does have something to do with it, even though it's just conjecture on my part. Maybe the polychloride I think they were using, maybe it was more pure or purer than what's being used today. Well, I'm sure it's purer than what's being used today, whatever that is. You know, the original pancake nugget they compress and press a record out of it. But anyway, these early Blue Notes, to me, that's what's so amazing about them. And granted, they're really hard to find. I understand that. But to me, they're worth saving for. If there's a record you really want, a Blue Note record, I think it's worth saving your money and searching it out, be it on eBay or Discogs or wherever, until you find it. Because that record, New York, 47 West 63rd, Lexington, will only rise in value. Any reissue you buy is only going to decrease in value. There's a reason Blue Note pressing set the mark for value on eBay and just in general. The Japanese know, as they've always known, there's something magical about a first pressing Blue Note that no other Blue Note reissue has. Period. End of story. I get worked up about this, I'm sorry. But I don't know what they did. You know, some people bitch and moan, oh, well, they boosted the mid-range for the record players and for the reproduction systems back then. Give me a break. I don't care. I want the original item. It's a historical document. That's what I want. I want to hear what Rudy heard. I want to hear what the musicians heard, what Alfred Lion heard, what came through his speakers. And the way you get through that, to that, is to get as close to the original pressing as possible. I go on about Music Matters. Those are beautiful sounding pressings. But one of the things that pisses me off more than the records is their business model. They are fucking shysters. They did their SRX series, and when their stock gets low, they raise the price. So the Coltrane Blue Train went to $100. This is a reissue. I mean, they are shysters of the nth degree. I don't know of any other reissue label that does that. Certainly Chad Kassem doesn't do that at Analog Productions. Granted, he doesn't have the time to monitor all his records to see if the stock is getting low. But that's just so offensive to anybody who wants to buy a record. You know, those recordings, to me, I've said a million times, sound like they took the musician, they put him in a new studio. You know, Joe Harley does fantastic work on the Tone Poet series, but I resent their business practices at Music Matters. Anyway, getting back to pressing quality, going down my list, the weight of the reissue or the vinyl means nothing. They make a big deal out of 180 gram means nothing. I think this comes from the early days of Blue Note, where pressings could weigh as much as 240 grams. Larry Cohn, who's one of the biggest collectors in Blue Note, who aided Fred Cohen in writing the guide to collecting Blue Note records, confirmed it, because he had all these records. But it means nothing. If you get an original contemporary records pressing, those are thin pressings. They sound fantastic. Vinyl weight means nothing. I think the vinyl, what the vinyl's made of apparently meant something, but hey, that's just a marketing term. 180 gram, whatever, means nothing. Quiet vinyl means nothing. SRX made a big deal. Music Matters SRX, the quietest vinyl ever. You know, if you want quiet vinyl, buy a Japanese jazz pressing. Those are the quietest records I've ever heard. They're amazingly quiet. But Japanese records boost the bass, boost the treble. There's something sort of unreal about those records, but they are dead quiet, man. But quiet does not mean a great pressing. Like I was saying earlier with the original Blue Notes, you can get one that's beat up, and if you clean that record and play it on a reasonable, you know, even an entry-level Rega Debut Carbon, or is that Project? I can't remember. And the cartridge is good, at least a Ortofon 2M red, and everything is clean and flush. You're going to hear the music jump out of those grooves like no reissue can do. You know, vinyl is not a CD. People come from the CD era. Oh, I can't have scratches and noises. Doesn't really mean anything. I can understand it's a little bothersome, but you have to get past that and listen to the music that's coming out of the pressing. And with an early Blue Note pressing, that's what you have. I actually think with the early Prestige pressing, I have a bunch of Eddie Lockjaw Davis and Shirley Sky records, early Prestige records, Fireworks label, Rudy Van Gelder engineering. Those things sound fucking amazing. Are they kind of hyped up in the mid-range? Yes, they are, but they're in the energy coming off the Rudy Van Gelder sessions is amazing. Analog Productions Music versus Music Matters. You know, I don't have any Analog Productions reissues as far as jazz goes. I've been to at the last New York Audio Show, Chad Casson was there, and he played his reissue of Duke Ellington's Masterpieces, and he had the original copy. He had it close to the original. I have an original copy. It's a green label on Columbia, but it sounded incredible. Chad Casson and Analog Productions, they do amazing work. They actually make the old records sound better, the tapes sound better, without losing the ambiance and the quality and the spatial properties of the original pressing. Tone Poet, Blue Note Tone Poet versus 75th Anniversary. Both reissue series. Tone Poet, $35 a pop. 75th Anniversary, $18.99. I interviewed Don Was. He said he had to fight the company to keep those reissues down to $18.99, but you get what you pay for. Now it's interesting, I have the first 5 of this new Verve Vital Vinyl series. I don't know what the price is on those yet, I have to find out. But those things, the records look perfect. There's no Mars, there's no scuffs, there's no weird discoloration. They're dead flat, the sleeves look nice, and they sound great. Those were done, the new Verve Vital Vinyl series was done from the analog tapes. When they could, they went straight from the tapes to the lacquer when they could. That's amazing. And those records, I've got the first 5. I'm going to review them in Stereophile. They sound great. I don't have originals of those Verves, but the Verve Vital Vinyl series, which consists of records by Billie Holiday, Stan Getz, Bill Evans. Can't remember the other ones. Ben Webster and Coleman Hawkins, or Oscar Peterson and Coleman Hawkins. They sound great. But you get what you pay for. You know, the Tone Poet pressings, they've released the first 3, I believe, from Blue Note. Those are $35 a pop. They sound fantastic. I thought they did the best job with the Chick Corea Now He Sings, Now He Sobs reissues, because I have the original solid state version, and it sounds just as good. There's more resolution on that and on the Wayne Shorter, etc. reissue. I have the original Wayne Shorter, the Blue Note LT series, and there's much less resolution, but there's a little more of an organic quality there. So, and people want to compare, or they complain about 75th Anniversary. Oh, those are shitty. Hope they're better. You know, the Tone Poet better be better. Yeah, it's $35 opposed to $18.99. End of rant there. You know, all the labels now that the vinyl resurgence is not a resurgence anymore, it's 1/3 of the entire physical copies being sold. They're all getting on board. Blue Note, obviously. Verve is finally doing reissues. Prestige has been doing reissues for quite a while. Great ones through Analog Productions. Where's Impulse? I don't know. There's no Impulse, quality Impulse reissues. A little small hipster label did 3 of the Pharoah Sanders records on Impulse. But, you know, these are the Impulse I have. I don't have that many, and none of them have been reissued. It's really strange because they're all gatefold, they're all heavy packaging. It would seem a perfect reissue series for someone who's serious about it. So that's all I really have to say about that. 180 gram doesn't matter. Quiet vinyl really doesn't matter. You can have super quiet vinyl and it still falls short of the original pressing. You get what you pay for. Anyway, that's my rant today about vinyl quality pressing. I hope you have a great day. This is a tremendous record. Herbie Nichols, one of the lesser known Blue Note artists who died young, who I think was as great as Monk. This is a great record. It's a trio with Al McKibben, Teddy Kotick on bass, and Max Roach on drums. Ken McCall, Jazz Vinyl Lover. Check out our Facebook group, Jazz Vinyl Lovers. Bye-bye.